go. Hello. Hello. Return to the Vital megastructure. Grassland ring. Quantum tunneling. Yes. Go to the megastructure. Let's go.
By the way, I finished my analysis of the particle clouds. At first I thought they might be some kind of nanotechnology, but I was wrong. It's a lot worse than that. What we're looking at is a completely unknown type and state of matter. Completely inexplicable within our understanding of physics. Created and manipulated by someone.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Preliminary analysis. Imagine an ant trying to make sense of a nuclear power plant, an armadillo trying to explain disco music. You get my drift. These particle clouds contradict every known law of physics. What's really shocking here isn't that we're seeing a new and powerful technology, it's what this implies about our grasp of physics. A lot of what we thought we knew must be wrong or incomplete on some fundamental level, a humbling realization. I don't like it. It's aliens, man. The megastructure is opened.
Come on, people, get on board.
She's
We
a
haven't got
runner,
all
she's a
day.
rock star. Come on, people, let's get on board.
Yakub, take us in.
Aye, aye, sir.
Aye, Captain.
Have any of you ever read an ancient writer called Ian Banks? I guess not. He postulated the concept of the outside context problem. That's when a society encounters something so advanced, so different, that they simply could not have conceived of it. That's what this is. This whole place is one giant outside context problem. And we're headed right into it.
Let's see what's inside.
I think I can set down over there. Should I?
Please do. I can't wait to get a closer look.
Setting down.
Okay, everyone. We need to explore as much as we can, separately if need be, but stay in touch. Record anything interesting you find, and pay special attention to any clues as to who built this place and why.
The schematics we found in that lab were extremely incomplete. So if you can find any more of those, that would be great.
What the
I think
hell?
someone should stay at the VTOL just in case.
I volunteer you. See you later, Al.
What the hell going on? Why are they running like that? I'm gonna fall. Can I fall? It's so dark. Why is it so dark? Explore the area. Okay. What the flip is this?
This thing seems to be broken.
That's an elevator. A cube and a globe.
Isn't this an incredible space? Look at it all, it's beautiful.
I agree.
That's good. That's excellent. I find that a lot of people these days can't see the beauty in things created by human hand. They can look at an ant colony or a coral reef and be impressed, but if it was made by humans, they just don't see it. It's good to be humble as an individual, but we have to be careful not to lose track of our accomplishments as a species. If we're impressed by the complex patterns produced by animals, then this should be breathtaking.
Ooh, yeah, that's pretty nice. Reactor core. That's a reactor, bro. I can freaking die over here. From Arkady Chernyshevsky, Inner Likeness, Essays on Humankind, reaching adulthood. What I propose then is that we are not born as entirely free agents, responsible only for ourselves. The very core of what we are, our sentience, separates us from and elevates us above the animal kingdom. As I have argued, this is not a matter of arrogance but of responsibility. However, this blessing also demands something else from us, something more personal than responsibility, and that is loyalty. Our ancestors, less atomized than we are, experience a crude version of this loyalty, swearing allegiance to tribes, races, nations, and other such semi-fictional concepts. This fragmented understanding was easily exploited and led to many conflicts. We can condemn them for that, or we can choose to believe these were necessary historical steps towards our growth. But above all, we must stop indulging in such childlike behavior. Our species can no longer afford to believe in Mother Russia or Uncle Sam. Neither, however, can we afford to indulge in the adolescent rebel's misanthropy, rejecting the many gifts we have been lucky enough to receive, not from above but from history of our species. Or, to put it simply, each of us owes a burden of loyalty to humanity itself, to the human project across time and space. This is not a minor matter or some abstract issue for philosophers. It is a profound and significant part of every human life. It is a universal source of meaning and insight that can bind us together and set us on a path for a brighter future. It is also a division, a line that must held against those who preach the gospel of self-annihilation. We ignore it at our peril. Chernyshevsky, like Drennan, stood by this belief to the bitter end. Without him, the archive would not exist. As we owe humanity our loyalty, so we owe a more personal debt to those individuals who gave everything for our story to continue. So we gotta pay loyalty to the humanity. Fine. Give me that computer, bro.
Hold on a second, 1K. I think I can find an override for that door.
Maybe after that, you can help me with this elevator?
One problem at a time. What's going on with these fast structures? Okay, door should be opening. Now, about the elevator.
Actually, the elevator's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. No idea where I am, but it's working.
Don't go too far. Try to circle back.
On it.
What the flip? That's big, bro. That's pretty big, man.
Hey, 1K, can we talk for a second? That whole thing with the elevator just gave me the creeps.
Sure, what's up?
When we first arrived here, I was really excited. It's such a huge place. The technology is so advanced. If we figure out what it all means, we could really change the future of New Jerusalem. The mayor says we have to avoid repeating the mistakes our ancestors made, to stay humble, to not reach too far. And that sounds very abstract, but I've seen the ancient cities. I've seen how much they built, how much they grew, how far they fell. So I've been thinking, what if all this sets us on the same path? What if this is too much power for anyone to control?
This place could be dangerous, but we need to understand it. We need to understand it.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who's a little worried. But we should keep exploring. Like you said, we need to understand what we're dealing with. Maybe it won't be all that bad. Thanks for talking to me, 1K. I know we're in the middle of something, but I kind of needed that.
Ah, de Magneto. Magneto. Pellegrini, Pellegrini.
Looks like another set of puzzles. Same pattern, 1 gate, 3 receivers. Like some sort of fractal symmetry.
Let's do the puzzles, bro.
getting locked out of parts of the system. I think I've tracked down some more schematics, though. Let's see. This might do something. Or not.
Good job, 1K.
What? That's it.
This is madness. Even the walls are bursting with power.
I wonder how far down this goes.
Well done.
Yeah, so easy, bro.
Open. 1K if you want to. Go ahead. I'll finish up scanning this.
Yeah, I'm going ahead, bro. Question from Miranda. I was doing some reading while the last trial was running and I came across something I don't understand. There are a lot of references to ancient humans feeling that science is boring. To me, everything we're studying is mind-bendingly incredible, whether it's quark gluon deconfinement or neutrino antineutrino oscillation or even something incredible basic like the properties of light. I understand why our ancestors cared about art, why a beautifully crafted story or poem was moving to them. But how could they not see that everything that surrounds us is just as incredible? Studying science is like studying the most incredible machine ever created, a machine designed to build worlds and tell stories. How could they not see that? I'm sure that's a good explanation, but I don't get it. I have a question. No, Emma, sister.
Mother? What are you thinking about, Mother?
The Talos principle. You see, it has two applications. One is to the self. It means facing the truth even if it frightens us. Understanding that living beings are machines and we can't afford to lie to ourselves. But that's just the beginning. The second application is to the world. This one seems easier at first. It's less difficult to understand that the universe is a machine, governed by laws.
So we and the universe are the same?
No, and that's the crucial part. We are conscious. Consciousness is rare, unlikely, but it's also the foundation of everything else. Without us, there can be no meaning. Without someone to perceive it, the beauty of the universe is pointless. But that shouldn't make us arrogant. No, in fact, it means we carry a tremendous responsibility. We are the light of the cosmos. And if we go out, there will be nothing but a cold, dark machine.
Actus the human form divine.
Athena.
The founder was here?
She could still be here. What if this is why she left, to build all this? We have to look for her.
I'm reading some pretty big energy spikes. I think we better scramble.
But she could be right here, right behind the next door. I could turn around a corner and walk right into her.
If she's really here, she'll still be here when we come back. But right now, safety needs to come first. Let's go, Byron.
You're... Oh. Damn you, but you're right. Heading back.
Board the Vitol. Huge energy spike. Oh, it's here. I feel it. I'm feeling it alone. We better scramble it.
Was that really the founder?
I think so.
Yes.
It was her. For years, I've wondered what happened to her, why she left, where she went, why she didn't tell me.
If the answers are here, I promise you we'll find them. We just have to be careful. Follow protocol.
I still can't believe the founder built this place. Has she been here the whole time?
We don't know that she actually built it. All we know for sure is that she was here at some point.
Of course she built this. Who else would have the kind of vision necessary to accomplish something like this? The question is why? And why like this? Why recreate all these aspects of a simulation? What is she trying to tell us?
It does seem like it might be a test. I can't imagine any other explanation. But why is it so broken? Or does it just appear to be broken so that we have to learn how to fix it? I hate this.
Well, I know one thing for sure. Everyone in New Jerusalem is gonna go absolutely nuts.
How dull is to pause, to make an end, to rust unburnished, not to shine in use, as though to breathe were life, life piled on life, were all too little, we were all too little, and of one to me little remains, but every hour is saved from that eternal silence, something more, a bringer of new things, and while it were for some 3 suns to store and hoard myself, and this grey spirit yearning in desire, to follow knowledge like a sinking star, beyond the utmost bound of human thought. Ulysses, what the hell are you talking about? Get me out of here. Get me the hell out of here.
All right, take us back to base camp, Yakut.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm getting some new readings. Looks like 2 of the northern sites are lighting up.
I think that may have been me. I suspect the puzzles are somehow tied to the transport system, like we're supposed to solve them in a particular order.
Wow.
All right, everyone. Our main objective is getting back into the megastructure. 1K, I want you on puzzles. You seem to have a knack for them. But the rest of us can't neglect our secondary objectives of studying this island and understanding this technology.
That's me, that's Athena, that's me, that's my bro Byron, and that's Melville. That's my cat, that's my computer. Yeah, that's the computer in the simulation. The dome. Down. Desolate island, flooded valley. North 1, North 2. I think we gotta go to North 1, North Rocky Island off the northwestern coast. Survey data suggests the area may be prone to landslides. Okay, wait a minute. Let's go to the desolate island.
You should be headed towards an island off the northern coast. The terrain's pretty rough, so be careful.
The island has another island attached to it.
Yes? It has several, actually.
How irritating.
What?
What? Oh! Snow. Three. Yo, what you gotta say to me?
How can I help you?
What if Athena left the island long ago?
Then at least we may be able to find out what happened in New Jerusalem, why she came here. But I don't think she left the island. I think she's still here, waiting for us to make the right choices.
What if it's a hoax? Someone's faking her voice. I doubt she's still here. I hope you're right. There's no rational reason to think so. I agree she has to be her.
It would be nice if something good happened for once, wouldn't it?
Why do we believe that there should be more people? Tell me a joke. How did Mayor Herman Nubis get elected? I noticed that Miranda called Athena her mother.
She did, yes. Some people in New Jerusalem choose to live in family units, although usually that involves marriage or equivalent ceremonies, not having children. You could say that Athena was a kind of mother to us, and Cornelius a kind of father, but it's not quite the same.
Why do you believe that there should be more people? What are the implications of Melville's analysis of the particle clouds? Do you think the megastructure technology could be misused?
Could be? Yes, of course. All technology has the potential to be misused, from fire and the wheel to whatever makes these particle clouds. But that doesn't mean it has to be.
If technology isn't the problem, why did our ancestors destroy themselves? Tell me a joke.
Okay. How many robots does it take to change a light bulb?
How many robots does it take to change the light bulb? 0.
Replacing a light bulb is a waste of resources, and the founder would be outraged.
Replacing the light bulb is a waste of resources, and the founder would be outraged. That's terrible.
You know, Herman had the same reaction.
Why do you believe that there should be more people?
I think every single human being is completely unique, and every instance of consciousness is a miracle. The more of us there are, the more alive the universe is.
Expansion.
And the more
bro.
we all interact with each other, the more complex the life of the universe becomes. So I believe that people are a fundamental good. I don't believe we're all flawless, but I think every one of us matters precisely because nothing else does.
Does your faith in humanity ever waver? If technology, what are the implications of the Melville's analysis of the particle clouds?
Athena was always trying to understand the reality underneath what we perceive, the objective truth. That's why she was capable of leaving the simulation. And even after she was free, she never stopped trying to understand more. I suspect her research took her another step closer to understanding the truth. And such steps always challenge our conception of the universe. But that's the wonderful thing about science. We can adapt our views to the evidence.
I suspect her research took her another step closer to understanding the truth, and such steps always challenge our conception of the universe. But that's the wonderful thing about science. We can adapt our views to the evidence. Does your faith? If technology isn't a problem, why did our ancestors destroy themselves?
Because they refused to grow up. They refused to take control of their lives. They let bureaucrats and financiers determine their destiny, and those people could not think beyond themselves, beyond the tiny, insignificant moment they were trapped in. Their technology could have saved them, but what really failed them was their imagination.
Does your faith in humanity ever waver, bro?
In the principle of it, no.
No.
It's not just that I believe humanity is fundamentally good, although I do. It's that I think sentience is the foundation of everything else. What's the point of stars and galaxies, of hills and forests, without someone to perceive them? But my faith that we can actually grow up, that we can break out of these loops and take control of our destiny, that's something I struggle with every single day.
How did... do you believe in the existence of something sublime or transcendent?
In the sense of an interventionist deity? No. I wouldn't rule out the possibility, but it's not something I personally believe. But I do think there is something genuinely sublime in this universe, and it's right in front of us. Consciousness. The fact that this sense of self is even possible, that an arrangement of matter can produce a self-aware mind? Think about it. It's a fundamental property of the universe, an unbreakable law that matter has the inherent capacity to become more than the sum of its parts. That is the definition of transcendence.
Do you believe in the existence of sublime or transcendent in the sense of intervenous deity? No, I wouldn't rule out the possibility, but it's not something I personally believe. But I do think there is something genuinely sublime in this universe, and it's right in front of us, consciousness. The fact that this sense of self is even possible, but an arrangement of matter can produce a self-aware mind. Think about it, it is fundamental property of the universe, an unbreakable law. That matter has the inherent capacity to become more than the sum of its parts. That's the definition of transcendence. Consciousness, very cool. It's very nice. How did Mayer get elected?
Herman? Honestly, I think he makes people feel safe. The world beyond our walls is frightening. Human history is full of failures and disasters. It's easy to look at that and recoil. Herman offers a vision of the future that feels contained, manageable. Precisely. Our curiosity, our creativity, our ability to grow. Everything that made us who we are. To me, that's not worth it.
Better to expand our curiosity than stay safe in the dome. In the dome. Get me that first puzzle, bro. Mind-body dualism.
What the?
Okay. Great. That's me. That's me. And that. 1002. Wait a minute. What the flip? Okay, I go here. Please keep discussion of the alleged presence of the Founder at the site of megastructure confined to this threat. I'm still in shock. I wasn't even sure the Founder was still alive. Of course she is, and now that we have reached completion day, she has sent us her sacred messengers. It could still be aliens pretending to be the Founder. It's not aliens, and if Prometheus and Pandora are her sacred messengers, why has no one apparently changed the other? The day of her return is imminent. So now you agree that Byron was right to want an expedition. In fact, it was the Founder's will all along, and when you said it would be wrong to even consider going to the island, you were acting against the Founder. Who are you talking about? Your word games aren't going to help you when the Founder returns, Aurinia. It was wonderful to hear Athena's voice again, but with all the emotion inherent in this matter, we should be careful not to get swept away. We don't really understand anything yet. I can't help but wonder if Miranda is her daughter. Was Athena trying to start a new civilization? She abandoned New Jerusalem. She would never abandon. She was a leader. Maybe she wanted the experience of private. The system that runs all the tech of the island. From the degree to which vegetation seems to have spread, I would guess the megastructure has been abandoned for a while. Although the combination of moisture and heat does create an ideal environment for plant growth, what makes it harder to be sure is that some plants have clearly been placed for decorative purposes, so a lot of what we've seen may have spread from there rather than coming in from the outside. It is surprisingly beautiful, but also kind of creepy. Wait, am I the guy? What is over here? Puzzle number 2. Leg up. Platform. Get over here, bro. Thank you, bro.
Any further insights on the particle clouds, Melville?
To be honest with you, Byron, I feel like a caveman trying to study Bose-Einstein condensate. I'm seeing unknown particles whose every property violates the laws of physics, apparently capable of being controlled and recombined into just about anything. It's ridiculous.
Maybe someone in New Jerusalem can figure it out.
Sure, just give them another 1,000 years.
Yo.
Okay. I've been watching you solve these puzzles, and this body replication tech is incredible. It just casually blows up the very foundations of our society.
What do you mean?
Do you have any idea how hard it is to make more of us? We're not like a toaster. You don't just weld together a couple of wires and a motherboard and call it a day. Not to mention how hard it is to even find some of the materials. And this thing just, poof, new human.
But the goal was to stop at 1000.
It was. Or was it? And even if it was, sorry to be heretical, but does it matter? If we can figure out how this works, we can finally, easily create more people. We can grow. We can expand. We can build a real civilization. Isn't that worth pursuing?
Yeah! It's our cosmic duty to spread consciousness. Maybe there is some point where there's enough people, but this is not it. It's very dangerous. We decided to limit ourselves for a reason. Maybe there are legitimate reasons to limit the population. I don't really have an opinion. It's our cosmic duty to spread consciousness, bro.
I don't have a poetic circuit in my body, but that's exactly right. People get on my nerves, but without them, the world is boring. Yes, people cause problems, but even the problems they cause are interesting. Don't tell anyone I admitted this, but why do you think I do this job? Without people to populate the universe, what's the point? Anyway, we all need to think about what this means. Glad you and I are more or less on the same page.
Hell yeah. Experimenting. Minds and bodies. The founder is to have developed technology that builds new bodies using these particle clouds we're already familiar with. These bodies come with a protocol for instantly transferring the user's mind. I cannot sufficiently underline how mad this is. The implication would be breathtaking if we breathe. There seem to be a number of safeguards. So far, I've not been able to get this tech to work outside the puzzles. I did manage to sort of make sense of the mind transfer protocol, however, and I'm uploading all the data I've collected. It will need to be studied extensively before it can be used, but I can think of a lot of potential applications. What really grinds my gears though is how casually it's all deployed. It takes us ages to make new body, and there's the whole bunch of them doing no more than holding up platforms or standing on pressure plates. Is this all a joke? What do you
Yes?
think? Did you ever meet the founder?
Of course I did. She and Cornelius were both there when I was born. Neath was just starting to take over back then, and they were still showing her the ropes.
What was she like?
Busy. There was always another problem to solve. Did you know that she never upgraded her body? Always prioritized everyone else. That's the kind of work ethic I wish more people had. I suppose so. For me, living is doing. But I understand that other people have more varied needs.
Do you... I wanted to ask... do you
I've
crave
never felt the need for a
companionship?
partner as such. I've met a lot of people who do. Athena and Cornelius, Atal and Damien, Sarabai and Hypatia. But that's not really for me. So far, at least. But I do have social needs like anyone. What I like is a pleasant buzz of humanity. Not too close, not too far. Something I can be part of without having it get in my face all the time. As far as I can tell, anything which is insane.
Could this vision affect my mind?
The data stream overloads? Yes, they could. There are safeguards to prevent that from happening, but these aren't exactly carefully controlled circumstances. It's hard to predict. Our brains are absurdly complicated, which is why it's so hard to make more of us.
What? Why do you think she...
Maybe
got
she
the
just got
individual?
sick of things breaking all the time. I used to think it was the only safe way forward. Keep things simple and under control. Now I'm not so sure that ever made sense.
What do you think about
She's
Miranda?
so innocent and full of wonder, it should make me want to retch, metaphorically speaking. But I'll admit, she's sort of charming.
I should get back to Vogue. I took the Vogue to Poland.
This body replication technology is proof of just how vital this expedition is. We may not know how it works and what its limitations are, but the technology itself isn't even what really matters. What matters is to expand our imagination, to realize that other futures are possible. I'm glad you see it that way too, 1K. After all, the world is better with you in it, isn't it?
Where the hell are you going, bro?
Not all things must be balanced. When good is weighed against evil, tip the scale.
What is that? Tetris? Number 4. No way. Yo, baby. Puzzle number 5. Come here. gift. Where's my buddy? What the hell? Thank you for the gift. Get the hell out of here, bro. Thank you for the gift, bro.
I wasn't watching the stream, but well done, 1K. Probably.
Probably. I don't understand what possible function this structure could have, but it's really impressive. Hold on, could that be its function? Just to be impressive? The technology discovered by the expedition changes everything. Every argument about how hard it is to get access to the resources necessary to create more of us goes out of the window. We can create more people. 1K doesn't have to be last. And it would be easy. Are we really gonna give up just because of the goal? Energy doesn't just come from nowhere. We have no idea what the real cost behind this technology is. Besides, the goal is an ideal, just a limit we run into by accident. It is the will of the founder. Yeah, right. It's not necessary to share a personal belief in the founder to understand the value of the goal. It's clear to us, to all, but the most radical that humanity needs limits for its own sake and for the sake of the planet. You say that as if it was self-evident. It's not. You're smuggling a whole host of misanthropic ideas into the conversation under the disguise of reasonableness. Your premises are completely rotten. I believe the results of human history speak for themselves, and I find it shocking that anyone would disagree. Something so obvious. Shocking that anyone would value human beings and think that maybe our ancestors could have solved their problems using their brains instead of preaching misery for all. That maybe there is some freaking point in blaming other factors beyond technology and growth, like, I don't know, people in positions of authority preaching their self-important bullshit morality instead of trying to solve ordinary people's problems. Authority, I'm just an academic. That's completely disingenuous, and you know it. Your clique has the mayor's ear. Clique, I assure you, there's no such thing. This conversation is getting out of hand. If you can't behave, I'm shutting this thread down. These conversations are necessary, they should not be banned. This conversation is irritating but should be allowed as a matter of principle. It would be best to close this thread until everyone calms down. Just take it to private. They should not be banned, bro. Oh, 1984. Passing through. Let's go.
I can't imagine spending years in such a desolate place. For what? Science? Enlightenment? I'd much rather be back home in New Jerusalem.
I think it's beautiful in its own way. But I don't understand how our ancestors could survive here. They were so fragile. Imagine getting stuck out here in the cold. I wonder if there are wolves.
It's kind of a miracle biological humans lasted as long as they did.
Yeah. Some reading material. No, listening material.
As we continue exploring the cold northern reaches of the island, the contrast between the harshness of this place and the softness of New Jerusalem becomes more and more pronounced. There is a kind of madness in what we are doing, going to a place that is so hostile to our existence. That does not mean there is nothing to love here. There is, in fact, a great beauty, but it is a hateful beauty, a beauty you can only love because there are places that are not like this. And yet, it is precisely this hateful beauty that the people of New Jerusalem fail to see, and so cannot understand their own blessings.
Okay, bro. Oh no, so many texts. Oh no. From the personal reminiscences of Mitku. There are some people whose true importance you just don't notice at first, people who quietly hold things together without making a big deal of it. That's what Cornelius was, always by Athena's side. He calmly and carefully helped us stay on track, reminding us of our shared humanity and the values that brought us this far. I cannot imagine how painful it must have been when Athena left him behind. When he went on his so-called research expedition, most people thought he went looking for her. To be honest, I thought he might never come back, and I was surprised when he finally did. I still don't understand how she could leave him. They seemed to love each other so deeply. After he returned, Cornelius was different. He founded the Museum of the Simulation and very rarely left its premises. The archive scholars doted on him, but he walled himself up, becoming almost much of a recluse as Eustachius, and only then did I slowly understand how much the city had lost. God appears, God is light, though to those poor souls who dwell in night, but does a human form display to those who dwell in realms of day? Prime Mover. Excerpted from Consideration by Eustachius. While it is hard from our vantage point to fully believe in any of the ancient religions, I must admit that I have come to believe in the existence of a prime mover, not a designer as such, certainly not an interventionist god, but some force that set the universe itself in motion. I don't know if it's possible for us to ever truly understand this being, since it must by definition exist outside our understanding of reality, but I do believe that it exists. Does it look upon us with love? Are we entertainment perhaps? Does it preserve some memory of us when we die? All of this cannot answer. I cannot answer. But I do not disbelieve those who honestly speak of having experienced some manner of brief communion with this entity. It's simply too common an experience in human history to easily discount. As the motion of the universe proceeds from the Big Bang, so whatever force animates us, whatever constitutes the true foundation of consciousness, proceeds from the prime mover. What do you think about this, Mada? I don't believe in any kind of prime mover, but I thought you should read it because Eustachius is an intelligent person and he came to this conclusion after a great deal of thought. It's important to respectfully consider points of view who we don't agree with. from the book of annotated internet comments by Eustachius. If modernity is so great, why is everyone so fundamentally disappointed with the world? Why do we sigh with pleasure at the sight of old houses, but feel nothing but depressed and alienated by skyscrapers? Why do we yearn for lush forests and wide plains, not narrow canyons between buildings? We love all this technology so much. Why is our idea of, if we love all this technology so much, why is our idea of happiness to get away from it? Could it be that progress is just a story we tell ourselves to justify why we allow ourselves to be dominated by inhumanity? Could it be that progress is just a story we tell ourselves to justify why we allow ourselves to be dominated by inhumanity, and other forms of living have something to offer? And other forms of living have something to offer. It seems that many of us share this desire to immerse ourselves in nature. Though we are ourselves entirely technological beings, we enjoy and value the Earth's diverse and unpredictable biosphere. But does that mean that progress is just a narrative, or as this ancient commenter suggests? Oh. Why do we yearn for lush forests? Could it be that progress is just a story where we tell ourselves to justify why we allow ourselves to be dominated by inhumanity, and other forms of living have something to offer? But does it mean that progress is just a narrative, as this ancient commenter suggests, or does it mean that technological progression and a law of the natural world are not in fact mutually exclusive? I don't know what the fuck is this. And yet, if this person was left on his own somewhere in the wilderness, he would feel nothing but terror. The appreciation of nature is rooted in the experience of civilization of safety. Nice, yeah. True, but he's still right. So much of what our ancestors created in the last years was alienating to the majority of people. Then the question isn't one of modernity, but of control. Control. 6. Let me get to the question mark.
Miranda is the founder's daughter. It's still kind of blowing my mind. She came all the way out here, left everything she had behind, and created a new life. Why do you think she did that?
I think, what? Miranda is the founder's daughter. Created a new life. Because creating a new life is nice. It's beautiful.
Miranda is certainly amazing, at least from what she sounds like. I can imagine that it must feel very special to be her parent. On the other hand, we're not like ancient humans. We're not born as babies. Would you have preferred to have a family? He did, didn't he? He remembers what it's like to be part of a family. The first companions were everything to him.
I want to ask something else. How are you feeling? Did you ever meet the founder? What did you make of the mega structure interior? Have you changed your mind about trying some puzzles?
Nope.
How are you feeling?
I'm not sure, to be honest. This is all so surreal. Walking around here is so peaceful, but it's also, I don't know. One moment I feel inspired, the next, kind of creeped out.
Why is the northern part of the island mostly underwater?
Our ancestors relied heavily on fossil fuels for energy generation, which released a lot of carbon dioxide. This caused the atmosphere to trap more heat, which changed the planet's overall climate. The effect continued even after they were gone, and these low-lying areas were flooded. I've seen a lot of places like that.
Did you ever meet the founder?
No, I never did. I would have loved to.
What did you make of mega structure
You know,
interior?
people throw around the word awesome a lot. I probably do it too, but I think what we saw in there is the proper meaning of the word.
Awesome. Awesome. So friggin' awesome. Another terminal, perhaps. Or a laboratory. Laboratory. Ooh, this laboratory is nice. White laboratory. Wow. That's a human being. From Quentin. Dear founder, I never got to know you. People tell all these stories about you, and I don't know what to believe. Some people say to us Cornelius, others say Cornelius is too blinded by grief. Some say Byron stands for the truth. Others say he's a fanatic and a radical, and we should listen to the mayor. That doesn't seem a way of getting a straight answer. Why did you abandon us to this chaos? Why can't you just come back and sort it out? If you are reading these messages, don't you care? From Rodan, dear founder, thank you for everything you did for us. I am grateful for the life that I have, which would not exist without you. I hope wherever you are now, you are at peace. Version 0.12 successfully deployed. New labs established to avoid interference. First successful duplication of advanced machinery. Data collection and analysis. Translation. Groping in the dark. Trial 001309. But QFT fails to account for this. Must rerun trials. Maybe God was just trying to make an apple pie from scratch. Author Athena. Sorry, I need to get this one. Lux D5. What the hell did I just download?
This looks like it has something to do with energy generation. Am I reading this right?
From Belzaran to Athena. Oh, great and sacred founder, I believe I have discovered the truth that our so-called leaders have hidden from us. This absurd and sacrilegious goal they have us working toward, this hubristic completion day foolishness, was never your true intent. Even this abomination of a city that calls itself New Jerusalem is a deception. Why would you want us to return to the sinful ways of our ancestors, strangling the living soil with steel and concrete? No, it was when you and the first companions lived humbly amongst the splendors of Gaia, having no need for all this wasteful ostentation inherited from our weak and decadent ancestors, that you showed us the true path. After all, why would the progenitor why would the progenitor have given us such hardy bodies if she had intended us for us to live in an unearthed luxury? From the very first, we were built to be free from pride and material excess. Your teachings have been obscured and perverted by ideologues, worst of all by the traitor Byron, who once was like a son to you. What the hell? Traitor Byron? But you should know that there are still those of us who remember the truth and await the blessed day of your return, when surely justice will be meted out and humanity will finally return to its intended path. Hallowed be your name, Belzerzan. The shutdown. Ooh. We assembled Ground Zero. We assembled on the vast green lawn outside as the reactors began to slowly wind down. The workers were solemn. The activists who had fought against decommissioning seemed crushed. There was supposed to be a speech, but the spokeswoman had lost her notes. Outside, the protesters cheered. My eyes were drawn to the discarded anti-shutdown banners, endlessly reciting the facts. The statistics on mortality per trillion kilowatt hours, lowest of all energy sources. The lifespan of a reactor, 70 more years in our case, minimal land footprint, almost zero emissions. No intermittency, it became a jumble of words, a litany, almost a kind of glossolalia. As far as the protesters outside were concerned, it might as well be an alien tongue. One thing was clear to them, and that was enough. The technology inside this compound was deeply inherently wrong. It was a sin. I couldn't help but think of the moment on August 6, 1945, when the sky erupted above Shima Hospital. My imagination could never fully encompass it. How do you imagine more than 70,000 people annihilated in an instant? An ancestor of mine was in that hospital. He went from being a doctor, a husband, a father, a pacifist stuck in a terrible war, to being a pile of bleached bones covered in trouble, all in a single second, not by accident, but because of choice someone made, not because of a reactor, but because of a bomb. Just 2 days earlier, contradicting his campaign promises. The Prime Minister had suggested that the use of tactical nuclear weapons would be an acceptable risk if the conflict continued. Very few seemed to find this particularly shocking or outrageous. They were afraid of reactors but not of the bombs. The spokeswoman gave up on finding her notes. It was starting to rain and people were walking away. She grabbed the microphone. By the time you regret this, it'll be too late. But honestly, I don't know if I care anymore. Maybe you have it coming. The spokeswoman sounded so bitter. The protesters didn't mean any harm. From their perspective, they were doing good. People always think they're doing good when they get collectively outraged. That doesn't make them right. Collective action can change the world when it's deliberate and based in reason, but it can also become a mental trap or a society pressure valve. What is the shutdown? So crazy. The thought-terminated cliché. To Miranda. As you continue your reading, there is a useful concept that I would like to keep you to keep in mind, that thought-terminated cliché. This is a type of a phrase, often a slogan or a saying, which sounds meaningful but is really intended to make you stop thinking. To pick an example from our history, someone in the simulation might say things like, "It's the will of Elohim, it serves the process, and that would be that, case closed." Who knows how many iterations never advanced further because they just stopped thinking about that point. Do note, however, that a thought-terminated cliché is not the same as a lie. It may very well contain elements of truth, but those elements are used to keep you from questioning a whole set of assumptions that come with it, which may be partially or totally false. This often takes the form of appealing to something you care about. We must protect X, where X is a nation, a philosophy, public order, or even the planet itself. But while you may agree with that element, all kinds of assumption may be included about how to protect something, or who to protect it from, or what the end goal of protecting it is. If you stop there just because you agree with the surface level statement, the results may be the opposite of everything you wanted, like those who chose to serve Elohim and in so doing prevented him from achieving his true purpose. We gotta make more humans. We gotta do it. Stop the game. Goodbye.